cannot tell you how excited I am. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining me here, for being here on the channel with me. Oh, I've been waiting a long time to do this. I've had it on my list for the longest time. So many of you have recommended this album, and now we are going to listen to David Bowie's 1977 album, Low. This is his 11th studio album. I am excited about this. Not only do I love the album cover, the way that you guys have been describing it, I'm looking forward to whatever sounds we're going to be introduced here. I'm just excited. I believe this is part of the Berlin trilogy. I don't know if this is like the first album in the trilogy or not. I don't know. I don't know all that. But what I do know is that today we're going to start off with the first track, Speed of Life. Let me see if I can find out some of you who have recommended this album. See if I can find that here. Now, originally I was going to listen to this last year, but around the time that I was planning to listen to this, it was coming around Halloween time, and it just made more sense to listen to Scary Monsters at that point. So we did. but now I think it's time to get back to this one. I think, let's see, some of the people who have recommended this, Samelli S, not Smelly, Samelli, Robert, AK, did you recommend this one as well? I think you did. Yeah, you recommended this one as well here. Christian Guerin, Joe Moran, let's see, there's a lot. I just can't get all of them. Hectochrome, YW, 1971. The list goes on and on and on. For now, we're going to start off with this album here. I am so excited to... I've just heard so much about it. And like I said, the way everyone's described it, the album cover, I'm just like, let's go. So let's start off with the first track here, Speed of Life. We'll talk about it after. Let's go. It's catchy too. Let's get the next song and then we'll talk about it. Let's get the next one. He's playing? And the synths? Ooh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm very, very ready to keep on going with this. Yeah. All right. Where do we begin? So obviously the use of the synthesizers and these electronic sounds is new in this specific space. It's very like industrial, a little bit glitchy, a little bit staticky, because these synths aren't really like polished. It's like they're kind of bouncing around like crazy molecules inside of a part. Like, like they're just kind of bouncing around, kind of doing their own thing. It's like the synth sounds have a mind of their own. These electronics are just kind of dancing and fraying about, kind of with their own life. I love that. It kind of has this unique sound within the music itself. Now, talking specifically about Breaking Glass. Dun, 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 dun. That heavy groove, heavy rhythm. So fun to listen to, but just as we heard from the first track, those electronic sounds are still bouncing around, even within a not conventional, but a more straightforward track like this. That sounds great. Bowie sounds great. The bass is fantastic. Who's playing bass on here? I do see we have Brian Eno here. Playing bass on this track is going to be George Murray, and then Carlos Alomar is on the guitars as well, which that explains just why it's so smooth going down. It has a little bite to it, like a good whiskey, or so I've been told. I don't know. Whiskey's not really my thing. But like, it has like that strong flavor, but it goes down warm, goes down smooth. You feel it down here like in the pit. That's really good. And then the first track actually sounded like a little bit of an instrumental overture and a prelude to what was coming next, because you had basically 3 distinct sections in there. You had like the more up-tempo, very rocky opening. Then it kind of shifted into something a little bit moodier, and I love the way that the keys are being played there. Just very moody, a slightly darker turn, and then it gets into, I don't want to say a disco kind of sound, but a little bit of a soul disco kind of sound. Just really wonderful. But it's that use of the electronics that's kind of separating this, at least initially, from perhaps what we've heard before. Now, talking about the speed of life, it says that the track makes several immediate implications about the content of the album, with its heavy use of synthesizers as both effects and instruments, and the presence of Davis drums and overlaid harmonizer, creating a distinctly different mix than any previous Bowie album. It says the song includes the refrain from Here Comes the Rainy Day Feeling Again, which I'm looking at, and it looks like that's a song from Tony McCauley, Roger Cook, Roger Greenaway. Never heard of it, but that's cool that that's included in there. It says that lyrics were originally planned for the song, but Bowie abandoned the idea, deciding that the piece stood better on its own. And that's a really interesting creative decision when it comes to music and actually a lot of art. When you're building and creating a song and you're getting everything together, you never want to add something to the mix that immediately you feel as the artist detracts and takes away from the music, takes away from what you're trying to accomplish with it. It reminds me of painting. I haven't done it in a long time. But when you're painting, for example, a landscape, you paint from the background and you paint onto the foreground. So let's say let's just say like mountains or whatever. You start with the blue sky. Paint it all blue. Then you put your mountain silhouettes in the back. Then you build upon that with maybe a little bit of whites to put some snow on the tops of those mountains. Then you build into the foreground and begin to put trees in the front. So you're getting that perspective. But you can keep on going and going, but you always get to that point like, should I add more or is this piece complete? And obviously Bowie felt that this specific piece was complete without vocals being necessary. And then talking about Breaking Glass, it says that, whoops, I completely just closed it. Hold on. Press the wrong button. It says the original song was uncompromising even by low standards. The fractured lyric is like several songs written during Bowie's stay in Berlin, introspective of his dark, drug-filled period living in America, 75 to 76. Its lyrics, when written out, look potentially more like a paragraph than a song, and when separated, has a disjointed feeling. Haven't even gotten to the lyrics. Let's actually do that right now. Baby, I've been breaking glass in your room again. Listen. Don't look at the carpet. I drew something awful on it. See? You're such a wonderful person, but you got problems. I'll never touch you. It actually does read like a perfectly stated paragraph with a direct message to this person. You know, I'm messed up again. I've been breaking glass in the room. Don't look at the carpet. I drew something awful on it, which probably means that, and implicated that he's urinated on it. You're a wonderful person, but I've got my problems, but I'll never touch you. I'll never harm you. I'm taking this out on the room, basically, but I would never do anything to you. However, I do see that on the Wikipedia page for this track. It says the lines, don't look at the carpet, I drew something awful on it, refer to Bowie's practice of drawing the tree of life on the floor during that period, as he was interested in Aleister Crowley and Kabbalah at the time. Not Gothic Kabbalah, from Therion. So that's completely different than what I thought. I thought he was drawing like, I don't know, I don't know what people draw with urinating in the snow. Anyways, let me see if there's any other information before we dive deeper into this album, just to see what the mood was, because there is a paragraph here that says studio atmosphere. With no deadline or plan structure, the mood during the sessions, says Seabrook, was upbeat and relaxed. The studio was in the middle of a French countryside, and the musicians bonded and experimented regularly. Okay, so it seems like a pretty good time. The sessions were not without problems. Most of the chateau's staff were on holiday, so they left an experienced engineer and kitchen staff who did not serve a variety of meals. Visconti said, we found the studio totally useless. The people who own it now don't seem to care. We all came down with dysentery. Bowie and Visconti both contracted food poisoning. Now, can I tell you, just from experience, a few weeks ago, my wife and I got food poisoning, or a stomach virus. I think it was more of a stomach virus. 1 to 2 days of just absolute Krakatoa in the bathroom. Bowie was in a fragile state of mind throughout the sessions, as his days of cocaine addiction were not far behind him. Lowe was largely drug-free. That was the first instance in a long time that I'd gone into an album without anything like that to help me along. That's actually really cool. He says, I was scared because I thought that maybe my creativity had had to be bound up with drugs. That didn't enhance my ability, but that album turned out okay. That's actually really interesting. This is, I believe that's why it's called the Berlin Trilogy, because this is where Bowie went to get clean, or what's the word? Get clean, yes, but kind of rehabilitate himself in a way. Anyways, wonderful start to the album. Great so far. We're going to end this video for now, but we'll move on into the next tracks here in the next one. So, let me know what you thought of it. You can let me know in the comments down below. You can follow me on Twitter. You can support the channel and what I do on Patreon. Hope you enjoyed the music. Hope you enjoyed my company. Come back tomorrow. And I'll see you then, guys. Bye!